You're welcome back. I'm Ife Chukwumoyela with the news. Now, we begin the news this Wednesday with the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara's response to the state of emergency declared in his state. In a statement he personally signed hours after President Bola Tinubu declared it, Governor Fubara called for calm as the state navigates a turbulent political period. The governor said he will engage with all relevant institutions to ensure that democracy remains strong and that Rivers State continues to thrive. He emphasized his dedication so far to upholding constitutional order and protecting lives and property despite ongoing tensions. Governor Fubara said his administration remained focused on governance, ensuring salaries were paid and key projects continued. He also highlighted his efforts so far to implement peace agreements, including reinstating commissioners who had resigned and complying with the Supreme Court's verdict. He accused members of the State House of Assembly loyal to former Governor Nyesom Wike of obstructing genuine peace effort. Despite political disagreements, he assured Rivers people that the state remains safe and secure under his leadership. The governor urged residents to remain peaceful and law-abiding. Meanwhile, anxiety spread in Rivers State on Tuesday evening as President Tinubu declared a state of emergency. It prompted early shop closures and residents rushing home. Several military trucks were seen in the state last night. Some residents expressed shock over the announcement, blaming the politicians for the outcome. President Bola Tinubu had in a 7 p.m. nationwide broadcast declared the state of emergency in Rivers State with immediate effect. President Tinubu said the declaration was due to the persistent political crisis that had disrupted governance and security in Rivers State, making the state legislature and the executive unable to function. He cited serious security concerns, including militant threat and vandalization of pipeline, as reasons for the emergency measures.
Inevitably compelling for me to invoke the provision of the Section 305 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State with effect from today, 18th March, year 2025, and I so do. By this declaration, the Governor of Rivers State, Mr. Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy, Mrs. Ngozi Odu, and all elected members of the House of Assembly State are hereby suspended for an initial period of 6 months.
Now, citing the Supreme Court's ruling that the state lacks a functioning government, President Tinubu said Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy, and all elected members of the Rivers State House of Assembly have been suspended for an initial period of 6 months. He regretted that his personal effort and those of well-meaning Nigerians to resolve the crisis peacefully had failed. President Tinubu appointed retired Vice Admiral Iboket Ebas as the administrator to oversee the affairs of Rivers State.
In the meantime, I hereby nominate Vice Admiral Iboket Ebas, retired, as administrator to take charge of the affairs of the state and the interests of the good people of Rivers State. For the avoidance of doubt, this declaration does not affect the judicial arm of Rivers State.
The president, however, stressed that the judiciary will continue to function normally and that no new laws will be made except for necessary regulations approved by the Federal Executive Council. The president assured citizens that security agencies have been ordered to protect lives and property in Rivers State. President Tinubu added that his declaration had been officially gazetted and forwarded to the National Assembly, hoping that this intervention will help restore peace, order, and good governance in Rivers State. But a lawyer, Festus Oguche, describes it as illegal.
As far as I'm concerned, the declaration of the state of emergency by President Bola Tinubu is a nullity. He didn't follow the constitutional procedures. Probably he has the expectations that the courts, who have been very supportive of his administration, will be there to support his position. But I think it will be taking these issues too far. If it's a joke taken too far. So I know that this is not something that members of the National Assembly should insist on declining on such a usurpation of political power, because this is a misuse of power.
Now, the lawyer says a state of emergencies are not invoked arbitrarily. He said 2/3 of the House of Senate must affirm and give it validity before President can declare a state of emergency.
The fact fact is that state of emergencies are not invoked arbitrarily or anyhow. You don't just wake up in the morning and think that you can invoke it. There's constitutional procedures for the invocation of a state of emergency, and it involves the legislature. As a matter of fact, for Nigeria, 2/3 members of the House and the Senate must affirm and give it validity before a president can declare a state of emergency. The president cannot wake up on his own and declare a state of emergency. The power of the president to declare a state of emergency does not in any way enable him to remove anybody that's elected into a political position.
On the spot, a former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Cross River State, Atta Ochinke, says the president has the constitutional power to declare a state of emergency before getting approval from the National Assembly. Mr. Ochinke, a former chairman of the Calabar branch of the Nigeria Bar Association, said this to correspondent Onyeka Chinwusu. He also explained the process of getting the National Assembly's approval.
He can actually declare it prior to the approval of the National Assembly. But what he must do is that if he declared it prior to their approval, then within 2 days, if the National Assembly is in session, he should submit the declaration for confirmation by the National Assembly. But if the National Assembly is not in session, then within 10 days of declaration, he has to ensure the National Assembly reconvenes and then he obtains the approval from the National Assembly.
Now, for the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, the declaration of the state of emergency in River State is alarming. The national spokesman for PANDEF, Obiuwevi Ominimini, said the group is studying the situation and will make its position known at a later time. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has strongly rejected President Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency in River State, calling it unconstitutional and a direct attack on democracy. In a statement, the party National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, condemned the president's decision to suspend Governor Siminalayi Fubara and appoint retired Vice Admiral Iboket Ebas to govern the state, describing it as an attempt at state capture and a move to undermine the will of the people. Now, on Tuesday, the police said 2 people have been arrested following the explosion that hit the Trans-Niger pipeline at Bodo in Gokana local government area of River State. Spokesperson for the River State Police Command, Grace Iringa Koko, said this in a statement. The PPRO did not, however, state if the explosion was caused by a militant group. She said normalcy had been restored to the area. Meanwhile, the Minister of Regional Development, Abubakar Momo, says that the government is investigating the explosion that hit the Trans-Niger pipeline at Bodo in Gokana local government area. The minister, who said this during a TV interview, said investigation will reveal if it was as a result of the political crisis in the state or not. The minister also appealed to politicians to embrace peace.
You're not defending anything. Remo Stars have advantage to win the league. That is the truth. And every other slot is open for every.
Apologies for that mix-up right there. Now, still to come, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike revokes PDP National Secretariat land. Stay with us.
When my way groweth drear,
with deep sense of
Now the rest of the news. President Bola Tinubu met with his service chiefs, the National Security Advisor and the Inspector General of Police at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa on Tuesday. The meeting comes just hours after an explosion rocked a section of the Trans-Niger Pipeline in Bodo community in Gokana local government area of Rivers State yesterday. Now, the meetings also had in attendance the Director General of the State Security Service, Adeola Ajayi, and the National Intelligence Agency, Mohammed, and some leaders of the National Assembly. As you may know, the explosion happened late Monday night near the ongoing Bodo Boni Road construction. The cause of the explosion remains unknown. Now, there are concerns it could be linked to recent militant threat over the federal government's decision to withhold Rivers State's funds due to the ongoing political crisis. The Trans-Niger Pipeline is a key pipeline that moves crude oil to the Boni export terminal. This is the third oil-related explosion in Rivers State this year. Recall that in February, a huge fire engulfed two flow stations around Cawthorne Channel in Boni local government area of Rivers State, destroying the facilities and causing loss of lives. Also in January, massive fire caused by crude oil spills raged for weeks in Agum Buguma community, the Gema local government area of Rivers State, leaving the community in distress. Earlier, some Ijo youth blocked the Mbiama axis of the East-West Road in solidarity with the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara. The youths were seen chanting solidarity songs, carrying placards with different inscriptions. There was no presence of security personnel in the video scene. Recall that the IYC had vowed never to allow the impeachment of Governor Fubara. Yesterday, the House of Assembly served a notice of gross misconduct on Governor Fubara and his deputy, Ngozi Odu. Away from that, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas Eberime Ebo, has commended youth in Andoni local government area for their role in ensuring a peaceful environment for oil and gas operations. Speaking during the commissioning of Otakibo, liquefied petroleum gas extraction plant and 20 megawatt gas to power projects in Andoni local government area, Mr. Ebo said the safeguarding of oil facilities would encourage development in the area and the Niger Delta region.
I am pleased to perform the commissioning of the 12 million standard cubic feet LPG extraction plant and the 20 megawatt gas power plant built by Otakipo Joint Ventures. I wish to commend the youth of the host community for their growing support and cooperation in fostering a peaceful and enabling environment for oil and gas operation. Your active participation and commitment to safeguarding vital infrastructure are crucial to sustaining development and attracting further investment to the Niger Delta.
On the spot, the chairman of First Otakibo Midstream Limited, Professor Anthony Adebulebe, assured the host communities of power supply from the plant.
What we signed as contract with the federal government was a 15 megawatt power plant at its inception, but today we are commissioning 20 megawatts embedded power generation for the use of our rapidly expanding operations, and the excess will be available for industrial use and also for our own host communities. In this regard, the joint venture partners have recently set up a task force to work out modalities for power distribution to the communities, so in very short time, the host communities will be enjoying power arising from this project.
Our correspondent reports that the First Otakibo Midstream Limited is a joint venture comprising Green Energy International Limited, operator of the Otakibo Field PML-11, and Lake Oil and Gas Investment Limited, its technical partner. And now the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has revoked the land of the People's Democratic Party's National Secretariat in Abuja. The minister revoked the land in a letter dated March 13, 2025, titled Notice of Right of Occupancy today. Now, the letter, which was signed by the Director, Land Administration FCT, Chijoke Nwankweze, said the revocation was due to the PDP's failure to pay the annual ground rent due on the property for 20 years. The statement said the PDP's National Secretariat now belongs to the FCT administration. We go on another short commercial break. When we come back, we wrap up the news.
Deliverance from the evil mark of untimely death. Judas Amosu Ministries International and the Royal Church, they specially
Welcome back. And now, as Nigeria strives to overcome its economic, social, and political challenges, the news manager of Cool Wazobia Info, Port Harcourt, Chioma Ezenwafo, has offered a blueprint for personnel and collective reform in a book titled Done Over Perfect. Speaking on Nigerian Info FM's Hello Port Harcourt, ahead of the official launch of the book in Port Harcourt, the author said the book can be a source of inspiration and a catalyst for nation building.
Here to talk about the book and to basically invite everyone who's interested in celebrating their wins. Our society is wired in a way that we are all just looking out for perfection and ignoring once there's a dent. I really look forward to that launch because it's not just about the book. It's about everyone that's going to work in there and how I want everyone to feel. It's an intellectual event, so you're going to be surrounded by like-minded individuals. If you're someone that you truly appreciate the concept of school of thought and people who truly think in our world where it's all about swiping and that procrastination can be taken care of.
Now, the book launch is scheduled for Saturday, March 22nd, 2025 at Golden Tulip Hotel, Garden City, Port Harcourt. It will feature a panel discussion with Dr. Ella Ezhadilieje, Veronica's daughter, a social media influencer and book reviewer, founder of Knowledge Money University, Emeka Nobis, executive director of Media Career Development Network, Mr. Lekan Otufodunri, and inspirational speaker, Dr. Patrick Uduma. The panelists will explore the book's themes and discuss the role of resilience in national progress. And now on the international scene, Hamas-run health ministry says more than 400 people have been killed by Israeli airstrikes on Gaza. The Israeli military says it's hitting terror targets across Gaza after talks to extend the ceasefire failed. It's the biggest wave of strikes since 19 January when the ceasefire began. Hamas accuses Israel of attacking defenseless civilians and says mediators should hold Israel fully responsible for violating and overturning the ceasefire. Now that's a wrap on the news this morning. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. Now, there is anxiety in Rivers State as President Tinubu declares state of emergency in Rivers State. Lawyers are faulting the suspension of Governor Fubara following state of emergency. Governor Fubara has responded to the state of emergency declared in his state, calling for calm. On the foreign scene, Hamas has accused Israel of killing more than 400 people in Gaza. The news was edited by Chioma Ezenwafo. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I am Ifechukwu Moyele. Thanks for listening.
Ministers Prayer Network Apostolic Women invites all ladies to her Frontline Women's Summit. Tag Deborah Arose.